Hello and welcome to ARK, the complete series. Well, we're out and about today in the desert biome because we're looking for velonasaurs. I've actually been out and about tackling like a yellow orbital supply drop, for instance, and I must admit a bit of hassle with the flies, things like the pteranodons, because I had some giggers, and aside from the fact that they practically wrecked the place and the USD just about survived, I think they did more damage than the actual corrupted dinos that were attacking. Yeah, it was just this. They still had this hassle of these pteranodons flying around. So I'm thinking, well, if I can get some like velonasaurs, if you put those into turret mode, maybe they can help me deal with those flyers better. So that's the reason we're looking for them, and also the reason why we've got this little icon saying that we're shielded for some strange reason. I don't know why. I mean, I've been using the actual vanilla shield generator, tech generator, whatever it's called, rather than the S Plus one, because in a previous video that I did covering the red orbital supply drop way back when Extinction came out, as somebody pointed out, the trouble with the vanilla version is it takes about like 5 minutes before it actually activates. So I've been testing that out, and for some strange reason, ever since I've been stuck with a shielded icon. I mean, I've got it, so I'm supposedly shielded, but I don't actually have a generator on me. Oh, what are you doing, you stupid women? I don't know what it is with these women. Every time I sort of like jump off them, every now and again they decide they're going to go for a walk. But yeah, for some strange reason it's saying I'm shielded, and it's also saying that Big Red's shielded, which is a bit weird. I don't know what's going on there. Maybe if I log out and log back on again, it'll go away. But yeah, I'm not actually shielded from anything as far as I can tell. I mean, very odd. Anyway, different strategies. I remember when I first tried Extinction. Oh, these things were a real pain to try to tame because they were doing so much damage. They just practically killed me. Even if I was sort of like hiding behind like a solid rock, or I mean, you've got these structures, you know, for the outskirts of where the biome actually starts. Those big, massive metal frames. I mean, I used to get killed on even those things. It was just nuts. I mean, they've been nerfed since, I must admit, and a lot from what I read. But there's still a bit of a pain to tame, I must admit. And there are different strategies. So I have actually tamed one up, and I tried it with ease. If you use some metal walls, basically just hide behind the metal. Because I tried it way back in the days. I tried it with stone, and I was literally having to have 2 layers of stone to avoid being hit. This time around, I'm just using metal, and that metal does seem to work. So I've already got one velonasaur, but I wanna try a slightly different strategy. I mean, I'll try both, assuming I can find one of these beasties. But yeah, it's a case of I remember I used to fly right up to them like an RG, and it used to tear the RG to bits. Now, what I've noticed, they don't seem particularly interested in this wyvern here for some strange reason. Well, not that many are particularly interested in wyverns. I think there's probably a lot of dinos on this map will think twice about trying to tackle one. Ah, now there's a one down there. I've just noticed. What level's that one? If I can find it again. Oh, there's 2. Oh, Struth, that's not good if there's 2 of them. That's a level 5 and a level 35. Well, that's no good. I need a reasonable... Oh, there's one over there on its own. Well, I may as well take these out because I need to take out the levels. But you can see they're not particularly interested. They're not going to attack me. Whereas I remember when I was trying to do this way back in the days, I was trying to come in with an RG, and that RG used to get shot to pieces. They do a massive amount of damage. Right, what levels? Oh, there's 2 over there. There's one there and there's one right. Oh, there's a Ute as well. So that's a 20. It's true. And a 40. The nice colours, I must admit. It's just the levels. So, oh, there's one over there. So it's the usual sort of case of let's clear everything out. It's a low level in the hopes we'll end up with something decent that's reasonably high level. But if I can get something like at least medium level, at least I can test this strategy out. Because I've been hiding behind like walls, and it's just a case of trying to play dodge with it. It doesn't take many hits before they run away, I must admit. But I want to try another slightly different strategy, which is to actually use... I'm going to use my ankle. Oh, I've got no beef with you two, so I'll leave you two alone. Let's have another look. But I remember back in the days, these things were absolutely awesome. I mean, these could shred anything. You just needed even just one of those, and you could do like the OSD just with one of these. They were that good. 5? Seriously? Oh, nope, I didn't want to get off. Just clear that one away while we're at it. But then the devs obviously they realised they were just too good, so they nerfed them. So I don't know what they're like now, but if I put one into turret mode, it should at least, in theory, be able to deal with the flyers better. 35. Oh, nope, I don't want to do that either. I keep pressing the E key, unfortunately. It means I keep getting up there. Off my mouth. Let's have a look. There must be a decent one around here somewhere, surely. Oh, there's another one down there. I must admit, I'm really liking having this, having the big red here. There's a lot of things just leave me alone. Well, that's 90. That's not too bad. Right, let's test this strategy out. I mean, there are some things that are gonna hassle them with them, but I want to try this strategy with the antelope, just out of curiosity. Right, so I want to pop Arthur out of his cryopod. I'm going to make sure you are on passive. You're on passive, good. May as well get him something to eat while we're here. So the theory is, if I go up to one of these velonasaurs and it starts to hassle Arthur, Arthur's going to leave it alone, but he's got a reasonable saddle, you know, 61. So that's not too bad. So in theory, I should be able to let the velonasaur take shots at Arthur, and then what I'll then do is I'll take shots at the velonasaur. So let's see if it'll aggro onto Arthur. Oh, there's a thorny dragon. That's not going to go well. I need to get rid of that. What's a thought? Can I? Yes, I can. I can use my gun. Woohoo! There you go. You learn new things every day. I didn't realise I could do that. I think it's because he's a medium size dino. There's some dinos that you can shoot off the back of. No, you're not. Interesting. So this is really close, up close. So I'm going to leave Arthur there. See when I can get this gun going. I don't like the fact that there's an aloe over there. Is that 2 shots? 3 shots. 4 shots. Wow, Arthur's taking it like a champ. 5 shots. And the gun's jammed. No. Oh! Also. Oh, truth. This is not good. Yeah, so it didn't take that many shots. Oh wow, you did a good job there. So it didn't take that many shots to take that out. At least right, it's heading in that direction. Right, I'm gonna have to go and get Big Red. But that is a lot easier, because the one thing I do remember with these velonasaurs is up close they don't do much damage. They're really at their best when they're ranged. At range they can do a massive amount of damage, whereas when they're right up close they're just next to useless. So that's one thing I always found, is that yeah, you really want it to take something out extremely quickly as it's approaching you, rather than getting too close. So I'm just going to leave Arthur there. I'm going to put him on mute just to be on the safe side. I don't really want that 90, to be honest. It's too low. Yeah, it's still running away. So it's obviously tranked. Oh, buddy duddy. 2 allosaurs. Thank you very much. Thank you for your contribution. Right. Oh, we're bleeding. Now where did it go? Oh, there it is. Right. Oh! That was it for you. Seagull. That's not bad, that, I must admit. That does seem an easier strategy. Once again, thank you for your contribution as well. Rootin' tootin' handy. Right, so now I've got to go and find Arthur again. Where did I leave? Oh, there he is. So that's the only downside, is I'm going to have to keep getting them out of the cryopod. Unless... what level is that one over there? Level 20? I mean, it's a 150 map. And yet there's just tons and tons of low levels. That's one thing that always used to drive me up the wall of the island. Right. May as well get you... oh, wow. Oh, what was that? That sounded like a moth. A lamantria, yeah. Right, well that works. Just the downside is the cryopod. Because obviously it takes about like 5 minutes, which I suppose is not that bad. I mean, you know, there's only going to be so many of these velonasaurs I'm looking for. Ooh, deja vu. I remember that I'm sure I ended up building a base around here. Yeah, I think I started my first base around somewhere around here because I remember there's a terminal down there. It was near a terminal. Right, let's have a look. Let's see if we can find another velonasaur to have a bit of target practice on, because this time round what I want to do is I want to try it with the walls. Because I tried that, the only trouble was I had to start playing dodge, because it kind of like got a bit clever, because I put 2 foundations down and I had one's a window so I could peek through and then take shots at the velonasaur. The other one was an actual solid wall. And I think that the velonasaur obviously had a bit of intelligence there, because it started to like creep around. So it started to come after me, unfortunately. But at least if all it does, it just like swipes at you with its paw, it doesn't do that much damage. Whereas if it's like in turret mode or something and starts taking shots at you with like a machine gun, yeah, that is brutal. It can still shred you. I mean, I'm going around with what tech armor I've got. I think I've got all my tech armor still on. Actually, that's a thought. I should already put more armor on. Right, let's have a look. Gotta be another one. So I mean, so far I've found like a level 140. That's the highest I've been able to find. Ooh, what's that one? What's that? Oh, that's that's a Carno. Everything looks the same from up here. Oh, there's one down there. Right. Oh, it's not really flat ground though. 10? Good grief. Oops, sorry. Four of them there just took a load of fall damage. What's that one? It's a nice colour mine, I must admit. Level 10. You know, surprisingly actually last. Oh, there's a 100. I mean, 100's still a bit low, but let's test the theory. If I make sure there's nothing up here. Oh, let's just... oh, and an allosaur, and a Kentro. Yeah, nothing up here, he says. Let's clear these out. Get a bit toasty over there. Oh, wow. I think you're carrying a bit too much now, mate. Anything of use? Probably not. Right, let's dump all this rubbish. Right, I'll turn you around if I can. So is that still there? Yeah, it's still there. Right, let's try this strategy then. So put that there, that there. That one there. Yeah, it's typical. It's starting to wander off in the wrong direction. Right, I need to make sure that you're on passive. Otherwise she'll get a bit carried away and she'll start setting things on fire. Oh, completely missed. What do you know? Take a shot from up here. That's a trouble, because even though I'm on solid rocks, I can still get hit from by that thing. Oh, good grief. Oh! Run away! Where's it gone? There it is. So it's in turret mode. It'll start creeping up on me. It's kind of like... Ooh. It's kind of like, as I said, oh, wow, wow. Jeez Louise. It's like I'm playing dodge, unfortunately. It's not as good a strategy, but it's a strategy, but it's not as good as a strategy. Oh, jeez Louise. So then it doesn't take that many shots. I mean, I'm just using normal trunk darts. Oh, the gun's jammed. Now's not the time for a gun to jam. So yeah, it doesn't take that much to like do it, but I wonder how much my armor's been shredded. Ah, it's fine. Right, pick these back up then. So I'm kind of inclined. Yeah, I mean, I feel a bit safer doing it with Arthur, to be honest. I think that's by far the easiest strategy. Right, I don't think we'll need that, it's only level 100. I mean, I suppose I could just pounce on one with Big Red here, but she does quite a bit of damage. That's one. I mean, we don't do much damage with the darts, so that's a risk, I suppose we could try. What if we try it that way, where we get it to aggro onto Big Red instead? That would be a bit of a laugh. Well, yeah, a level 10 or 15 is certainly not going to survive. There's a lot of these low level ones. It's just like crazy low. Right, I think that. Tell you what I'm going to do is I'm going to have a wander around, start looking for, see if I can find a decent high level one somewhere. I've got to have faith that there's one out there somewhere. Because what I like to do is get anything from about, say about 125 upwards. Because then the stats tend to be, well, pretty much all over the place. There's no point just getting like 150s, for example. It doesn't guarantee a decent amount of stats. What are these two? 25, right. Well, I'm just going to keep clearing this lot out. Hopefully, at some point, I will eventually find a reasonably decent one. And then I want to try and see what it's like around a bit of a bite with Big Red. Will a decent high level velonasaur survive a bite from a wooden? See you in a while. Ah, so I found one. It's lurking around here. Well, no doubt it's going to probably try and attack something. But I found if I bite even to like a level 20 or something, Big Red isn't doing that much damage. No, don't. You stupid thing. Why are you going after a stinger? No, I don't do that much damage actually, which is interesting. Ooh, wow. Let's see if I can help. I need to give you a helping hand. Right. Right, so you start attacking Red. Yeah, that's what you do. Yeah, you just keep attacking Red. Red doesn't mind. Right, you're going to keep attacking Red, hopefully. What I definitely don't want to do is trank Red. Well, I was just doing you. Yeah, so it's hitting her for about 60. See, she doesn't actually have a saddle, that's the thing. So that's 4 darts. 5 darts. So even though I'm hitting it, it's not losing its its aggro on Big Red, which is good. They're almost not going to get knocked out, almost. There you go, that wasn't too bad. Right, let's go and see what state Big Red's in then. I mean, she lost quite a bit of health, but nothing major. I mean, I think that's a 145. Can you just land? You get stuck on rocks there. Right, I need some meat from you. Right. So this one's 145 female, so it's stuck so far into the rock. Right, so if I can get access to your inventory, life would be easier. Right, I'm going to give you... Doesn't take much because of the taming settings I've got. I think I've got like ×3 or something. So I'm going to throw these 3 over to you. Yeah, 70%. So for me, it's only taking about two kibble to tame something like this. But one thing I was actually thinking, because I've got the Wyvern, I could have actually just picked up the ankle, so I could really just throw the ankle out, you know, get it out of the cryopod, and then all I've got to do is just basically pick it up with a Wyvern, drop it off somewhere close by where I want it to, and then I can attack the velonasaur. So that's another way, because I mean she's hitting for about, I think it's about 429 or something last time I checked. So it's got plenty of its health still left, so that's not an issue. Although I am curious as to why its stamina's so low. I mean, I'm not bothering with, you know, the exact type of kibble that it needs, because I've got plenty of kibble from the island anyway. It's easy just to, well, just basically just throw the best kibble that I've got. Makes life easy just having one type of kibble. Now, I'm going to pop you into a cryopod. Having said that, I'll have all these back first. Now, I don't remember what the other one was. I think I've got a level 140 already somewhere. I don't remember what gender it is, but I'm going to have to go out and sort of basically heal up quite a few. Heal up quite a few? I need to tame quite a few. Because I want a good mixture, just for the sake of the stats. I mean, I'm not after anything wonderful, because the idea is I want to be able to use them to take on like orbital supply drops. Just pop them out when I get a bit of a breather, because I've noticed it's still the same where you go and take on these orbital supply drops and then you get like a big massive rush of all of these dinos coming at you all at once, and then all of a sudden it's like, oh, there's still, you know, so many left, so many hostiles left, and you're sitting like watching the clock basically, because they're just out there somewhere, they just haven't turned up. And the problem is, if I go out and look for them, I'll come back and the actual orbital supply drops despawned. So it's a case of I've still got to wait around. So in that time period, you can always just keep popping, you know, more of these like velonasaurs out. So they should be pretty good for, you know, deal with the flies, especially like wyverns, for example, on the red ones. But I need to go and find some more. So we're going to go out, take some more wandering around, see what we can find. Then, when I've got quite a few of them, I'll bring you back. Well, I managed to tame up a total of 7 velonasaurs, all different colours. Now, I must admit, I do like the combinations in some of these. It's definitely interesting how it's been mixed up there. There's some of them I really like, I must admit. But it's a case where the more important thing really is the stats. So, I've got a combination of, you know, anywhere from like 125 to 150 when it comes to levels. But interesting enough, I've got 2 150s. There's the female on the left and the male here. I'm not keeping either of those two for the actual breeding, because it's these 2 females. The female on the left, she's got the highest health and the highest melee, and the female on the right, she's got the highest stamina. I mean, that 150 female, she does have the high health, but it makes more sense to use this female here because she's got 2 stats as opposed to 1. Now, oddly enough, the male who's in the middle, he's actually the lowest level out of all 7. He was a 125 that I found. That 150 male, yeah, it's a case of I need a male to breed against these two females, and his stats are closer to their to those, even though he's only level 187. Because I mean, there's 3 other stats in there, like the oxygen, the food, and the weight that I'm not particularly interested in. I mean, technically, I'm not even really interested in stamina because I'm not going to be riding these things. At least that's not the plan anyway. The main purpose is going to be to use them as turrets. Shoot down flyers more than anything. But you never know. I mean, I've got that. That's the highest stamina I've got out of all 7, so I may as well use it. So it's a case of breeding these 3 together until I get a breeding pair that have got the best 3 stats out of these 2 females. So that's what I've been doing, and this is the end result. This dude over here, he's a bright purple colour. Just sheer look. I mean, what I do is I breed the 3 over there. Until I get a breeding pair, and I don't want any mutations. I mean, technically it doesn't really matter, but that's just the strategy I like to use. And I must admit, it took forever and a day, because eventually I ended up with a female that had all 3 stats, but I was really struggling to get a male that was exactly the same, because that's what I want. I want a male and a female that have got exactly the same stats. All of the stats have to match, because then it makes it easier if you're going to then do mutations afterwards. But even though I had this level 213 male who's got the same health and the same stamina, I couldn't get a male that was exactly like her, and I just ended up with an actual pair of twins out of those 2. And it's a case of, yeah, I mean, the level 198, so it just means that the oxygen, the food, and the weight are probably the lowest out of those 2. Whatever the lowest settings were probably is what we ended up with. Which again doesn't really matter because they're not really stats I'm interested in. But yes, this is the first one I've got, and he's actually got a mutation in stamina of all things. So the actual parents don't have any mutations. This one does. I mean, there were other mutations along the way, but again, I like to keep the line clean until we get to the actual final breeding pair. Now, in this case, I'm not doing like boss fights or anything, so I'm not too fussed about mutations. So, in terms of strategy, well, I must admit, at the end of the day, I mean, using your Ankylor, or really any dino, you know, to just basically soak up the bullets was a lot easier than actually having the walls. Saves you having to carry them around. I mean, if you're doing it on on an official server, you can't pick those back up again. You'd have to destroy them, rebuild them, so it'd probably be a bit of a pain. The women, I must admit, wasn't that bad. I mean, it took a lot more damage than the Ankylor, but at the end of the day, I mean, you've got quite a bit of a gap where, you know, you've got to trank one of these velonasaurs, and then you've got to wait for it to eat all the kibble before it's going to get tamed. So you've got a bit of a gap where you can force feed your dino while you're waiting, I suppose. So that was fairly straightforward. I mean, you don't necessarily have to use something like that. Any dino that's got a decent saddle would do. In my case, I just like the flyer because it's easy to find things on the map flying around. I mean, I suppose like an RG would have done. That would be an alternative. As long as it's got that, you know, decent amount of health, I suppose, and a good saddle, then you're fine. When you get right up close to the velonasaur, it doesn't do that much damage, and it doesn't take that many darts before it'll run off anyway. So yeah, I must admit, taming these little beasties was pretty straightforward, a lot easier than originally. You know, when I first played Extinction, the number of times I died trying that, I mean, I don't even want to think about it. So yeah, so it's a lot easier. Just take a dino as close up as you can get to the velonasaur, and then let it aggro, jump off, and just take pot shots. You're just got to be aware of, you know, the environment. That's another reason why I found the Wyvern was quite useful, because I could actually pick these things up and move them to somewhere, you know, where there was less hassle. Or alternatively, I'd just clear the area out. I suppose that's another strategy. Clear the area out around you before you aggro the velonasaur. Anywho, I've now at least got one velonasaur, but I could do with a few more. So the question is, what do we do next? Well, that's for another episode.